Hey YouTube. Alright, so it's Thursday. Just got off work. So yesterday, the new hub, modular hub, came in. And then also my buddy David went out to the salvage yard and he found me a nice shift knob off of the Sunfire. And I got a lead on two more 5-speeds, right? The exact same as this, for $115 each. And one's in a Cavalier, an 02 Cavalier with the 2.2 with a 5-speed, and the other one's in a Sunfire with the 2.2 and a 5-speed. So I'm gonna end up going out to the other salvage yard, and I'm not gonna name it yet because I don't want someone to go get them before me. But yeah, so I'm probably gonna end up going and getting both of those other two 5-speeds, and probably the other shifter mechanisms and the other clutch pedal and shifter cables and pretty much all the same stuff that I got. I'm just going to have those as backups, and you never know, I might end up swapping another Grand Am or something to a 5-speed. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But so right now I'm going to get this hub pressed on here and get my pulley on and make sure the belt fits and everything, and so that's what I'm about to do right now. So y'all stay tuned and I'll keep you updated. Alright you guys, so this is the setup. So puller comes with this little piece. It just goes on your 1/2-inch drive, and this pretty much holds the snout still from, like, the shaft inside the supercharger from spinning while you're pressing this on. If you don't have this on here and you just try to tighten this down, it's just going to unthread. It'll turn the snout, it'll turn the pulley, and it'll unscrew it from the snout itself, from the shaft. So I had to put this piece, which is part of the puller, and this bar just holds it still. So then once I bring this around this way, so now these are both about even. Okay, so this is pretty much how I have it. And then this bar, by holding this bar still, it holds this, which is what's pressing the pulley on. And then by having this one on here, you have to hold it because it's holding the snout still so it doesn't spin, and it actually presses on. And then you just take these crescent wrench and you just keep turning that nut right there, and slowly but surely it presses it on. This one's almost all the way pressed on, so I just got a few more turns left, and I just wanted to show you guys pretty much how it's set up, how this goes. But yeah, it's really actually pretty simple. If I can get my phone to stay here. So pretty much you're just gonna keep, yeah, it's hard to do with my phone in my hand, but I mean, you get the idea. You just keep turning this nut clockwise and it'll press this on, and then once it's all the way seated to where that shiny spot turns into the, not really rusted, but a little dirty spot, that's where the factory pulley was sitting. So that's where I want to seat it up to. And once it hits that mark, then you can stop. You can back this nut off a little bit, and this whole shaft right here will unthread from the supercharger shaft, snout shaft, and then the pulley's on there. So I mean, you can already tell it's already spins. I mean, so the pulley's most of the way on. I'm going to get this finished up, and then I'll show you guys what the finished product looks like. Alright y'all, so I got this the rest of the way pressed on. You see it's nice and flush on the outside. So this little piece right here threads into the snout so you can hold it still, and then it threads onto, like, on the inside of this shaft. And this is the one I was just turning the nut to press it on. So this just threads right on there. And that's how you connect the supercharger pulley puller and press to the supercharger. And that's how you connect it. Then you just take this nut off, slide your washers and the rest of the puller on. So normally with the factory pulley on, this would sit on here like so. And then it's got these two bolts that go through here, and then this slides on the end of the shaft like so, and then those would thread into that piece, and then you have the washer sitting right here between this nut and this piece, and you turn it counterclockwise, and that's what pulls the pulley off. And then pressing it on, you just don't even have to use that at all. You just use this piece, put it on the opposite side of the nut with the washers, and turn it clockwise instead of counterclockwise. But this is a good little tool to have. I got this one secondhand off the Facebook Marketplace for like 65 or 75 bucks or something like that. I don't remember 100%, but it was like half the price of a new one on ZZ Performance. So definitely good tools to have. Alright, I'm gonna have to grab a Allen key to get that out, Allen head. But made a lot of progress, or making a lot of progress. So this morning I ordered another transmission pan, gasket, and filter for the 4T65E for the Red Grand Prix, because I took the one I had for the Red Grand Prix transmission and put it on inside the transmission that's going in the Black Grand Prix with the supercharged engine. So I had to order another one, and then I ordered the hub, and I ordered some ZZP stickers, and they sent me a couple extra stickers, so that's pretty sweet. But man, so now I gotta take the bolts going in. There we go. Alright. So now I've got the modular hub on. And now that I have the pulley bolted down to the hub, now I can actually hold the supercharger snout still while I get that out. So I'm gonna find my Allen wrench and I'll be right back. So stay tuned. Alright you guys, so I found my Allen key. So see, if you try to loosen it, it'll just spin. But if you hold it, then it'll unthread. Just unthread this. Alright, there we go. Now it's nice and loose. It's out. And then whenever you buy the new hub, it comes with this plastic piece, and this just sticks right in the end. And boom. Now just like that, the hub is on. So now I just got to tighten down these 5 bolts with, I want to say it's a 5mm, but I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, then I just got to tighten down these 5 bolts right here, and it's good to go. And that's that. So this was the original plastic piece, and to get this one out, I actually just used a pick and kind of turned it, and it unthreads out of those threads with these, but then you can just press it in there and it holds. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it to pulling and installing the factory pulley and installing the hub. And just like that, it's just about finished. So now I want to test fit, make sure the belt fits. I'm pretty sure it will. That was the belt I had for the for the 3.4 on the Red Prix whenever I was still running the 3.4 before I got the belt wrap. And then once I went to the belt wrap, then I had to use a little bit longer belt. And now that the 07 is going to be running the intercooler, I definitely have to run a longer belt, like 3.5 to 4 inch longer belt because of the intercooler. So yeah, I just kind of took a bunch of stuff and from the 07 and it came over here. So this engine got the heads, the lower intake, the pulley, and that's really about it that came off of the other engine. Oh, and I did steal this bracket. But yeah, that's pretty much about it that came off the other engine from the 07. But man, I'm super excited. I'm ready to hear this engine run. It's the first engine I've ever done pistons and rings on. So I'm still kind of like, I'm kind of scared. I really hope it runs good and doesn't have any issues, but I did everything just like the videos showed, and I made sure I lubed everything up before I put them in. So I shouldn't have any issues. It feels like there's great compression whenever I turn it over. So yeah, that's my little update for now. So I'm going to go ahead and find my little bit bigger Allen wrench, get those bolts tightened down, and throw this belt on here, make sure it fits and everything. And that's probably all I'm going to be doing today. But I will be back over here on Saturday morning, because I'm going to be doing the engine transmission swap to the Supercharged Top Swap engine on the 06. So I just got to run by and grab some oil, an oil filter, and some transmission fluid and some antifreeze. And that's pretty much all that I need to get, and I'll have everything I need. Oh, and some brake cleaner. Yeah, I just got to go to make a Walmart run and go grab a bunch of stuff, fluids and stuff I'm going to need for the weekend, so I can get this done. So hopefully this will be done this weekend. And I know maybe next weekend I might mess with this a little bit more. So I still got to drop off the flywheel and the pressure plate and get that flywheel machined and get the holes drilled out in the pressure plate, so I can get that bolted on here and get it torqued down and Loctited and everything. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Yeah, stay tuned, you guys, and I'll catch you guys on either tomorrow after work or Saturday morning. But I'll be doing the swap on the 06 Saturday. So, and if I don't get it done Saturday, then I'll finish it up on Sunday. But I'm going to try to get everything done on Saturday. So I got a lot to do. I'm going to be dropping the subframe on this, power washing it completely, changing the rack and pinion, do a whole nother rack and pinion, whole nother engine and trans and motor and transmission mount. I'm going to have to use the same axles that are in there. I'm just going to have to change out the hub that slides into the trans itself. And you see that one's missing because this one was a supercharged one and the boot ripped, I believe. And I've already swapped that out off of the red Grand Prix and just put a whole new one on there. But I kept the piece off of it in the transmission, and that supercharged transmission on both sides, so I have them just for doing this. So all I got to do is just knock those clamps off, pull leave the piece in the transmission, and whenever I pull the engine and trans out and everything, then the axles will be right there ready to go. And then all I got to do is just connect the boots and probably just put some of these regular clamps on them to hold the boots on to the piece that goes into the transmission. And yeah, this thing should be running and driving good. So, and then once I get this engine and trans and everything out, I'll get this engine that's in the car now on the stand over there in the 07 storage, and that's going to be the new block for the 07. So lots of stuff going on, but things are getting there. So I'm really happy with the progress I've made so far. I've got my girl and my daughter, they're wanting to to come help and just check everything out and see what I spend on my time doing whenever I'm not at work and not with them. And they kind of want to help, and they helped me do some work on my girl's car, and they both had a lot of fun helping and just being involved, and they learned some stuff. So they're wanting to help me out, and I told them there's not really a whole lot they can help me out over here with this, but I mean, if they really want to come help, like they're wanting to come help me do this weekend, so at least on Saturday. And then I believe my buddy David's wanting to come help also, and maybe his buddy as well. So I might have 4 or 5 people over here helping me, so might get done everything on Saturday. Not for sure yet, but yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. So stay tuned, and I'll keep you guys updated on Saturday. Hey YouTube, alright, it's Friday, it's the next day. So the belt was actually a little bit too small, and I couldn't get it to go over all the way on the Grand Am engine, so I come over here today to the 07 Prix, and I got all the extra belts that I had, and I got another pulley. This one's like 2 rib wider. I think this is the 3/4 belt, but I'm not 100% sure, so I just grabbed all of them. I'm just kind of looking around, grabbing anything I might need that's over here. I think that's about it. I might have to come back and grab some tools. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. But yeah, I mean, I might have to come back over here and grab some more tools. Not 100% sure. But everything is looking pretty good over here. So I did get that new transmission filter and pan gasket. Since I stole the other one, I bought another one for the 07's transmission, because I had put some miles on it, and she's not perfect, but it was still shifting really good. So I'm going to do the shift kit and do the new paint filter and pan gasket whenever I do the shift kit before it all goes back together. But that's going to be later on down the road, because I've still got to get the engine out of this and strip it down and then rebuild it with the cam and everything. I still got to get a new cam and a new set of lifters. So I mean, I've still got a ways to go, because I want to build this right. I don't want to cheap out. I've already got, you know, 5-6 grand into this already, and it was a $250 car. And I mean, even most of the ZZP stuff I got, like the cam and the heads, like the first original setup, I got everything used for $450. So I mean, this is already, like, it started out as a budget build, and yeah, now I've got thousands into it between ZZP and Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist and eBay. I mean, like, that was secondhand. I got that brand new balancer was $100. New water pump. I drove to Missouri to get these coils for like 50 or 60 bucks. The alternator was like 35 at the salvage yard. It's like brand new. The intercooler and the front mount heat exchanger and the pump and all that stuff was $450 used off of Facebook Marketplace. You know, the injectors, they were like $300 something. The ZZP air filter was like 30 bucks. The new water pump was like 30-40 bucks. The gasket set's like 100 bucks. The paint, I would probably use 5 or 6 cans of red, you know, gloss cherry red paint, and they're like 6 or 7 bucks a can. Multiple trips out to the salvage yard. I mean, ordering gaskets and sensors and harness extensions and O2 extensions and block off plates, and you know, the new tires were like $600 and something for 4 brand new tires. And drive into Michigan to get the other heads and the other supercharger and everything. That was, you know, it was only $100 for the parts, but then I had to spend, you know, $200-300 in gas driving out there and back. Because when I went and got all that stuff, I was dailying the black Grand Prix because this one was not, had the knock, which was, now I know it was a lifter. But I was daily in this, and it was before I got the truck, and it was supercharged, top swap, and it was misfiring cylinder 3. And I drove it all the way out there and all the way back with it misfiring, so it used a lot of gas. But other than that, I mean, it ran decent. It was just misfiring in cylinder 3 pretty much the whole time. And it went boom. A little while later, but it did go boom. So, I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff going on, but I'm gonna just finish this up, grab these last few things I need, and go over to the Grand Dam storage, and I'll catch you guys over there. Hey guys, alright, so I'm over at the Grand Dam storage now. So, I did get the pulley all on there, it's nice and tight. Like I said, the ZZP belt, it was just a little bit too small. I couldn't get it to go on all the way, so I tried this belt, and I mean, it goes on, but it's just super loose. So I don't know what the deal is with that belt. And so I've got a couple other belts over here. This one's kind of worn out, but if it's the right size, then I guess I can just take that down and get the same size belt as that. I'll get it figured out. I'll get me a belt on here and get it going. But other than that, I mean, everything's looking really good. So all I'm going to have to do is just wire up the injectors. And here sometime I'm going to grab that harness out of there. That was from the car, and I'm going to throw it over this and start extending wires and try to get everything wired up in the correct order. And I don't know how I'm going to end up doing the cam sensor and the crank sensor and the coils. I'm not really sure yet. On the coils, I could use this bracket, and this is the factory Grand Dam bracket, which normally sits like right back here, so I'd have to extend the wires so that it would reach to up here. But then that way, this would still bolt here, no problem, underneath the coils, and it'll just have, instead of having this plug, it'll have these, and I'll extend the wires and run them to where they plug in, and then I'll just get rid of this whole harness piece here, and I'll have to just cut this off so I still have this plug. And then for my cam sensor and my crank sensor, I'll just have to wire those directly to the Grand Dam harness. And I'm guessing that's how I'm going to have to try to do this, because I still haven't heard back from Gage or anyone else, and I don't really know who else to holler at to do wiring. But there was a couple people I've talked to that's just like, hey, you know, it's pretty simple and easy, like just look up the pinouts and match it. And I've watched a few YouTube videos like Jimmy Oaks, and he uses the Link standalone ECUs, and he pretty much did the same thing. So I'm like, alright, well, I mean, if there's so many people that can do this, and so I'm going to give it a shot. Like I said, I'm good at wiring up radios and subs and stuff like that, but I've never messed with engine harness, really, just extending wires or cutting out a burned wire and replacing it with a good wire, and, you know, crimping and heat shrink and everything. But I don't know, I'm going to give it a shot, but not today. I'm just trying to get this thing complete, and I want to get some oil in it and turn it over a few times. I am going to have to pull it off the engine stand and get this flex plate off of there, because my dumbass put it on there, not even thinking about I have the flywheel. So, but that's where it's at right now. So I'm gonna try to get a belt on here to fit and fit tight, and I will holler back at you guys. So stay tuned, I'll keep you updated. Alright, you guys, well, I did end up getting the ZZP belt to fit, and this is the actual pulley that goes on this idler here. But the belt was just a little too small, so I went and got this older bracket here, that had a little bit smaller pulley on it. So I swapped that out, and the belt fit. So voila, this EZP belt is on with the 3/4 pulley modular hub. So now I just have to bolt the power steering pump on here and get me a good belt for the main belt. And I'll have a good main belt and a good supercharger belt for the engine for the Grand Am. And this has the supercharged map and everything on it now, so now that's all good. So it's pretty much almost ready. It's ready to bolt up to the transmission and start test fitting, and that's where I'm at right now. So the next thing I really need to do to this is drop this subframe and get this transmission out of here and get the trans out of the way completely. And I need to get the other subframe and shit from out of the parts car and really start swapping everything and, you know, getting this engine with that trans bolted together. I mean, even without the flywheel and stuff for now, but it'd be nice if I could go ahead and get all that on there first, then bolt it, and then that way it's already ready to go. But yeah, I mean, it's getting super close. So I'm happy with the progress I'm making on this. The next, like I said, the next major thing I have to do is I've got to get this subframe and transmission out of here and get the stuff from the parts car. So I'm probably going to have to tow the parts car over here and pay for outside storage back by the dumpster. And then there's a bunch of cars parked back there, and then that way I can just go back there, drop the subframe, set the rest of the car down, and I mean, it's just a parts car now, so I'm not really worried about it. And then if I can end up being able to keep my subframe since it's so nice and clean, then I will. But if I can't, and I have to use the other one, or if I can't find anyone to cut off that bracket and weld it onto mine for me, then yeah, I'm not really 100% sure. But I do know there's a couple of a Cavalier and that Sunfire out at that other salvage yard, and I'm wanting to go pull the transmissions and get all the extra parts, and if that's the case, they should have a good subframe too. So I don't know if the Cavalier or the Sunfire subframe is the same as the Grand Am subframe, but it should still have the same mounting setup as the Grand Am subframe. So I just have to go out there and actually look at them. I haven't been out there yet, so I had to work all day today, but off work, and I've made some progress. So now the engine's pretty much ready. It's just ready to be wired up. It needs a harness. So that's going to be the next thing for this. And I also need to get all this shifter and the clutch pedal and everything in here. So I'm going to have to roll this out again so I can open the doors, which means I'm going to have to move the engine and all that stuff over there out of here, out of the way, so I can roll this out and be able to open the doors and actually work on and install the clutch pedal and drill out my hole down here where I need to drill that, and start getting the slave and all that in there, and or the clutch master, I should say, and start getting all that all bolted up and routed and seeing how everything's gonna fit. And I'm really excited about it. So I'm ready to start seeing this thing come together. I'm super excited. I've been waiting to drive this car again for going on 2 years. It's been a year and a half ish, somewhere in there. So I really cannot wait to drive this car again. I really can't even believe I even still have the thing, because it's been in storage so damn long. But I love this car, and after this is done and I get it running and driving, I'm probably never going to sell this car. I'm going to keep it forever. This one I really don't care that much about. It's just a daily. That's a beater. Cheap car, $150 car, and now since the guy backed into me and I got paid from the insurance, it was a free car. So that's the whole reason why I took the old block from the 07 and I'm rebuilding another Top Swap supercharged engine for this and the old transmission from the 07, the original transmission. So that way everything will be the all factory supercharged, everything. I mean, except for the cam and stuff. Because the supercharged cam and stuff is in this engine. So this has all the factory L32 cam and lifters and push rods and rockers and heads and, well, no, these are the Series 2 heads, but I know that they are 100% good. And these are the ones that were on the 07 and it ran like a top. Even with the bad lifter, still ran and drove, no check engine light. That's the whole main reason why I was thinking it was a rod knock and couldn't be a lifter or any of that. But sure enough, it was a LS7 lifter. So, but yeah, I've made a lot of progress. I got the belt on there, so I don't really know what I'm going to do now. Probably just start getting everything ready for the swap tomorrow. I got to go make a run to Walmart, and I've got to go get the oil and the braking oil and the good oil and good oil filter. It has a brand new filter on it, so not too worried about that. For the 06 engine, I've got to get antifreeze, I've got to get brake cleaner, a couple cans of brake cleaner. I need to get some black spray paint just so I have some. I've got to get transmission fluid. Like, yeah, I've got to get quite a bit of stuff. So I'll keep you guys updated. I'm just going to get all this stuff picked up and put back in here and probably go head home and go see my girl and my kiddo. So I'll catch you guys later. Alright, you guys. Okay, so I went back over to the 07 storage and I grabbed this other power steering pump I had. It had both the bolts in there with it already, so I bolted it on and I found me the correct belt. So this one was a little bit too loose, so I ended up having to put the original pulley that was on the Supercharger belt tensioner on the main serpentine belt tensioner to get this belt to fit. And since this one was a little too small, then I had to swap this pulley with one. I mean, it's pretty much the exact same. So I could have just took this pulley and put it here, and or took this pulley and put it there, and took that one from there and put it there, but that's essentially what I did. So I just had to swap those two pulleys and now both belts fit. So now I've got both belts on there. Everything's good. This was just for mock-up. I still have the one that's in the car that's going to go back on it. It's a lot cleaner than this one. I just wanted to make sure I had a belt that fit. And the other pump that's in there is the exact same. It's still hooked up to the line, so no big deal there. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. It's going awesome. So I might have to scoot this belt one rib over. It looks like it's going a little crooked, but it's awesome. None of the belts are rubbing anything. Everything clears. Can't really get it over far enough, but my finger fits between there. So nothing's hitting. I don't know if you can see. There we go. Yeah, there's space between there. But yeah, the belts aren't hitting anything at all. Everything clears. So this engine is pretty much 100% done now. So now all it needs is some oil, and I can turn this thing over like with the starter and actually hear it crank. And I mean, just cranking it by hand, it feels like it has really great compression. So everything's in there. Push rods are in, rockers are nice and tight, valve covers are on and tight. I do still need to finish tightening down a couple of these exhaust bolts on the rear header, and I think there might be one on the front header also. Maybe not, maybe I got all the front ones, Yeah, I think there was one or two on the rear that I need to finish tightening down all the way. But other than that, pretty much everything's done. And this engine is complete. So now I've just got to get the flywheel machined, get it bolted on, get the clutch kit on, bolt the transmission on, and then I can start test fitting this on the subframe and hopefully get this thing in this car sometime in the next couple of weeks to the next month. But before I even put this back in here with everything, like, I mean, I want to set it up in there to see if the rear header and the downpipe section is going to hit or not. But I mean, I don't know. Other than that, as long as that clears, then I'll probably end up pulling it back out, because I want to install the clutch pedal and the shifter mechanism and run the cables and everything, and get the clutch master all hooked up and bolted in place while I have all this extra room in the engine bay. So that's my plan with that. I do have a couple extra clips and stuff that I'm going to end up replacing on this, and I might get some new heater hoses, I might not. But overall, I mean, I've made a shit ton of progress, so I'm really happy how everything's coming out. So on my shifter handle on mine, this whole piece stayed on the handle itself and ripped out of the knob. On this one, the blue piece stayed in the shifter knob. So I don't know if I'm just supposed to rip this one off or what. I don't really know what I want to do, but I would really want to attach this and get this on here. So if anybody knows how to get this out of here or how to get this off of here without breaking anything or screwing it up, leave me a comment and let me know. This one specifically is out of the 04 or 05 Grand Am. But yeah, let me know if anyone knows how to get that out of there. But overall, the engine's pretty much complete. So now all I gotta do is I'm probably gonna have to swap out this ICM with the Grand Am one right here. But other than that, the engine's complete. So now it's just wiring. So I'm really stoked with how everything's turning out. That's probably going to be it for this video, y'all. But I will be back over here tomorrow, and I'm going to be doing the engine transmission swap on the 06 over at the other storage. So it's going to be different in the next video. But yeah, it's going to be my update for the Grand Am. So I hope you guys are enjoying the content and enjoying the build. If any of y'all watching is any of the like 4 or 5 people that's already done this swap with the 5-speed in a Grand Am or a Malibu or an Alero, and you know how to wire this stuff, man, send me a message, please, something. Like, if y'all could help me out, that'd be awesome. That'd be so amazing, because I just want to hear this engine run. And I mean, I've built a few engines, but I've never messed with any of the bottom end on them, so it's always just been, you know, heads up. And that's normally what I do. Like, replace the head gasket, get the heads on and torque down with thread sealant, and lower intake manifold gaskets, lower intake manifold, either regular intake or supercharger, whichever, and then accessories and exhaust. And I mean, these engines are just so easy to work on. Like, but at the same time, this is the very first one I've ever changed pistons and rings. And I mean, I've watched videos and I've seen other people do it, and I've just never done it. And since this one, like, I built it twice and it had no compression, and I swapped the heads with these heads, and I knew that these heads were good, and it still had no compression. And so I had to pull it back apart and pull the pistons out, and sure enough, all the rings were, all but 2 cylinders, the rings were just stuck and gunked up and nasty. So I got new pistons for $100. Got new rings for like $30, $35, $37, something like that. And got my 3 different cylinder hones, and got oil and oiled it up and honed out all the cylinders. Got everything swapped around. I bought new rod bearings because I was going to go ahead and change them, but they sent me the wrong ones, and the ones that were in there still look fine. So there's a little scarring. If you go want to see the condition, you can go back and watch the video of building the engine. But I mean, overall they looked okay. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that everything turns out good and this engine runs amazing. So leave me a like, a comment, subscribe if you enjoy the videos and enjoy the content. And if anybody wants to help out and chime in, and I mean, you can even send me a message on Facebook or on Instagram. So just I appreciate everyone that watches and that subscribed, and I appreciate the comments. So I'm gonna keep at it. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow in the next video doing the Supercharge top swap, engine transmission swap on the 06. So make sure you hit that notification bell, so as soon as I post this video, you guys can come see it. So I appreciate y'all watching, and y'all have a good night.